In this video, I will provide you with a couple of ways you can create a removable fence panel. And in our first example, we will use this design here. And don't forget, you can use a combination of the things I'm going to show you. For example, you could use this method here on all four sections of your fence, or reposition the fence rails, the 2x4s, to where you can use this one on all four connecting points. And all we did here was build a slot that the fence railing can slide into. And you can do it with 3 pieces, you can do it with 1 piece, or you could build something out of metal. You're just going to create a slot that a shaped fence rail could fit into to prevent the bottom from moving in both directions. And of course, the post will prevent it from moving in the other direction. Now let's lift the fence panel up, and you can see here where you can slide it out. And make sure that whatever design you do choose, that you can actually slide the fence panel out. And this might require you to actually put a little planning into this. Next up, let's take a look at the top where we have a similar design to slide that section of the fence into. And you can always make these a little taller if you want, or modify the design. You just want to create something that's going to prevent the fence from moving. And another thing you could try would be to attach a board to the railing here and the post. Not this, because this board will prevent it from moving in this direction, and the board on the other side will prevent it from moving in this direction. And with this board here, you could simply screw it to both this side of the fence and this side of the fence, or drill a hole in the board so that you can create something that will swing over. And this design might require you to put another block here or a screw to prevent it from falling all the way down when you rotate this piece back over to here. And again, if something like this will work better for you on all 4 of the connecting points instead of doing something like this or this. And of course, if these ideas won't work for you, then maybe you can think of something that will work better and then share those examples with us in the future. Next up, let's change the design here and go ahead and cut a slot in the fence post here. We're going to use a joist hanger down at the bottom and then cut a slot all the way through over here. However, we will be attaching this side of the fence and the railing to the post. And then of course at the bottom here we will have a slotted piece of lumber. And with the slotted piece of lumber we will need our little swinging latch board there. Go ahead and take a closer look at our hanger. And an inverted hanger here will probably work better than a regular hanger. And of course a slot to slide the top railing board into, and a similar slot on the other side, along with a shaped board to create our slot, and our pivoting or rotating board that will prevent the fence panel from sliding out of the slot. And with this method here, you're going to need to raise the fence panel a little higher because the rails on both sides will need to go over the top of the other fence boards, which might require you to put some handles on the fence to make your job a little easier. Let's go ahead and reposition the fence panel. Take a look at how it's going to be positioned in the hanger here. You might need to notch a little out of the fencing boards to create a groove or a slot that won't interfere with the hanger, or reposition the hanger in a way to where it won't become an obstacle when removing your fence panel. And again, it wouldn't be a bad idea to plan out your fence design because the fence posts on each side might need to be located in the correct spot depending upon which methods you're going to use. And if that sounds like too much work, you can always use some type of framing anchors to attach the fence railing to your posts. Put some screws in it. You're just going to need to remove a couple of the screws on one side. You don't need to remove the entire piece of building hardware. And something like this will work great for anyone who doesn't need to remove something like this more than a few times every 5 years. However, I will leave that up to you. This method here is probably the easiest way to create a removable fence panel.